Recreational Outrage.
You got it cooking?
I think so. Yeah, I feel like I got prepared.
Yeah.
As much as I could be.
Here we go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did. I left my coffee over there.
Dude, I'll get your coffee, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. This is the first episode someone's gotten me coffee. Thank you.
I don't even know how to make coffee.
It's so easy. You totally
Water.
could.
Just water. Yeah.
Beans.
You just guess with
I-
the amount of coffee, and then you go, oh, it's a little strong.
Yeah.
Look how
Strong
weak
today.
that is. And then you adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
Takes about 3 times to figure out, oh, okay.
It is. It's an eyeball game.
Oh,
and
it's
you just get better.
It feels like an eyeball game. Yeah, for sure. It doesn't. I'm sure somebody's done some measuring, but I haven't ever.
No.
I've just been drinking out of a can for too long. So,
Oh yeah.
Monster. Monster coffee.
yeah.
No, it's not
No.
coffee. I don't know how he drinks Monsters every day. But it's funny.
Is this it? Are we doing it?
We will
we-
probably
are-
do like a small intro. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to be too corny, but I wanted to do like
Be
a,
corny.
Yeah.
Line it up.
Am I
Yeah.
allowed to?
Yeah, dude.
Why? Who's
Be yourself, dude.
who's here to stop you? It's a podcast. What are you do? Say you can't upload it. You can.
All right. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
Okay.
Are you?
Dude, I brushed my teeth today.
Oh, dear Lord.
Just today.
I got so ready. I feel
He's
I
from
bought
Florida.
new pants.
He's from Florida.
you wear new pants?
Yeah, I bought new pants
So
last
sweet.
night. Yeah,
It's
no,
really
more.
nice to see you guys
No.
spoof
I
yourselves
needed new
up.
pants, yeah.
All right. Welcome to Recreational Outrage,
Yeah.
episode something.
60?
I don't know.
61? Yeah.
I haven't worried about anything else
No.
in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've been focused. I tried to get prepared because we have a big guest today.
Mm-hmm.
At least for us. I'm very excited.
Me too.
In a weird way, the universe lined this up. And I'll explain later. It sounds kind of stupid, but I read way too much into things. I'm super sentimental. And
Again, Florida.
very. Yeah, I'm a Florida boy. Like, I can't. Dude, the sun was out today.
Don't be a Florida man. Florida boy.
I feel like it's a level of evolution. You know, I still have all my teeth, so.
Opposable thumbs. Yeah.
I have all my fingers, yeah.
So proud.
What about your toes?
And yet, fireworks, you like them, right? Still like fireworks. From Wisconsin, we
He's-
like fireworks and we blow our hands off.
Yeah.
I did. I have multiple cousins with less toes than me.
Really?
Yeah.
From fireworks?
No, one was a lawnmower.
Any crocodiles?
No, there's alligators.
Alligators bit your cousin's toes off?
No.
Oh,
No, but there's no crocodiles in Florida. There's all alligators.
gotcha. Okay.
Right. They look just as intimidating.
Yeah.
They seem.
They actually look meaner in a weird
Well,
way because their
it's-
snouts are longer.
Right. It's like there's only people from Florida can tell the difference, and the people from wherever crocodiles are from.
Yeah.
It's sort of like elephants. You're just like, no, that's an Indian continent.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it looks like an elephant to me. And you're like, that's an elephant. That's an African elephant.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
Well, you're more comfortable with the beast you understand.
Right. Like I can tell the difference between a badger and a possum. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But I know things.
Yeah.
Dylan taught me there was mountain lions here.
He thought he thought it was a myth.
Oh,
He thought they were all bobcats.
no, there's actual. California's got them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, California's got the mountain lion. It's got the bobcat.
Almost wherever there's mountains, there's some
There's
kind
gonna
of
be a lion.
Yeah.
that they call a mountain lion.
yeah.
You know, there's real lions here, too.
Like Savannah.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean? Like
the zoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Did you see
lying.
the excitement in his eyes? He got real scared.
I
would've
even believed
believed
you.
it.
I believed it. I'm
Do you
from
know
here.
that trout are not indigenous? Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I don't know very many fish facts though, to be
My
honest.
brother's a big fly fisherman, and he's
Yeah.
like, some trout, is not, and most of the trout. There is one kind of trout. He told me about it on an episode of the Dork Forest, but
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it is. And I said, do they want to get rid of the other trout? And he said, no. People love trout.
Yeah.
They love rainbow trout. They love the brown trout.
Yeah.
They love the river trout. You know, it doesn't matter. All trout are good trout in the
Smoked
world
trout.
of eating of trout.
Trout
So-
soup, trout like
There's
spread.
no trout soup, is there?
I feel like I've had it.
All right. You could soup up a fish. You could. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
ciappino, which is the Italian seafood soup.
Oh yeah, it's got a mix of all the things,
It's got
right?
a mix of things. You could put a trout in there.
Yeah.
It might dissolve a little
You could
too
put
much.
a
You got
trout in there.
too many bones.
Yeah.
It's usually like a thicker fish, like a halibut or something.
Dylan hasn't had fish.
I've had fish. I'm not a fish guy.
It's
It's
well,
just
you've
not your favorite.
It's not my
meat of
favorite thing.
choice,
Yeah.
you've never had sushi.
I've never had sushi.
Okay.
which is also fish.
It is.
but sometimes isn't.
What is it?
Well,
It's like
sometimes just cucumbers and avocados and a little bit of wasabi.
Yeah.
But you don't want
That
any.
doesn't really get
I
me
think you
going.
don't want any part of the seaweed.
yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause,
It's from the sea.
right.
Honestly,
have you ever had the tuna tartare over at the Comedy Works? Because that's not sushi, but it's tuna.
Yeah.
And you probably had canned tuna.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
he's
No, well,
he's
canned
just
tuna is just. I mean, it's the poor man's tuna.
Yeah. Okay.
It's.
I'm a
you're-
poor man.
You're
So.
better, you're better than that tuna, man.
I need to rise above canned tuna. You're right. It's
Remember when
time.
my sister turned 18, she said, "I'm never eating margarine again."
Yeah.
She walked off into the sunset.
she just evolved.
That's it. She was like, "I'm not doing this. You can keep your Miracle Whip. You can
Yeah.
fuck right off.
Yeah.
Just, it's all mayonnaise and butter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to learn about what olive oil is."
Yeah.
I was like, "You do it. You
And the
get out
different
there."
levels of olive oil. I just got into putting table butter or having butter on
yeah.
the table. Mm-hmm. That changes everything.
Can I tell you, I went to college and I did not know that you could butter your toast and put jelly on top of the butter. The first time I did it, it genuinely blew my fucking mind.
The combo.
And the people around me are like, "What is happening? You've never..." And I was like, "No, you could either have butter or jelly." When I was a kid, I'm the youngest of 6. I mean, we were all trying to save a shekel here. Yeah. And I was like, "What?" And it was, I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this, there's a whole another layer of flavor going on.
My Nana would put butter on everything. Like
Yeah.
if we would have lunch at her house, she'd make us ham and cheese sandwiches that also had butter on them.
Wait, and mayonnaise or just butter?
Just butter, ham and cheese.
That's
yeah.
okay though.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
right. But it's weird when people do choose to butter. Like my mother-in-law loves to butter rice that's been buttered. I mean, we're talking it's pilaf. I mean, pilaf is cooked in butter
Yeah.
and chicken broth.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Can I get the butter?" And then tab of butter right there on top. I was like, "Well, you are very thin. And you're 76. Eat whatever you want. It's time to eat butter all you want."
I had an uncle that would put salt in his pocket. He
Oh,
had
just in
one-
case?
Yeah.
Just so he could just.
Loose?
It was everything.
Yeah,
He'd-
that does look like it was loose.
Was it loose salt?
No, he had like a
Or
shaker.
packets.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Either or shaker.
I remember it was a glass shaker too, so he would know how much is in there. Like
Oh,
if
so
he
you
was
could look
running
at it?
low,
Yeah,
it was impressive.
It's the hot sauce thing that Beyonce or
Yeah.
Rihanna or some other Madonna, some famous lady singer.
I think it was Rihanna.
Music
I
is
don't
my
know.
life, by the way.
Yeah.
I just did a Dork Forest about the Beatles, and for some reason Brian Wilson came up. Anyone want to guess what band I thought Brian Wilson was in? Oh, it wasn't the Beach Boys.
No.
Turns out he's famous for being in the Beach Boys, and I said the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
Very wrong.
Yeah.
Same time period, but very enormously wrong.
Very similar. I mean, not really, but
That has actually been the response of everyone I've told.
Yeah.
Similar, actually not at all. You mean time frame.
Yeah.
You mean the same 10 years.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was never a fan of the Eagles, and I remember watching The Big Lebowski, and he says, "I hate the Eagles," and I was like,
Finally.
"You can feel that way."
Vindicated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like the first time you put butter and jam together. You're
Right.
like,
You know what I hate? Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular.
I also
opinion.
don't like that movie.
Do you know why? Because go to school, you little shit. That isn't your car. It
Exactly.
isn't
No
your car.
consequences.
None. It
He's
is
just
a-
running amok.
Right, and it is essentially the movie version of Catcher in the Rye. That little shit could also. And Catcher in the Rye is the modern version of The Great Gatsby. All three of those people. are assholes. And you're just
That's
like,
true.
no.
Like just more modern versions of
Of
themselves.
just some self-entitled piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you could think of others, it's not hard. No. You don't have to do it all the time. We all falter. But you don't have to, like, celebrate the fact that you're a douche.
Literally
Could you
putting
grab
yourself,
my coffee?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thanks.
putting yourself in the parade, dancing.
Right. I mean, such a huge,
That's a
entitlement
move.
kind of thing,
That's
right?
a move.
It feels it. It feels it.
I've never been in a parade.
Never? You never
I
been to
was
a
in the
parade?
marching band. You weren't in the marching band?
No.
What did you play?
Trumpet. I was not very good at it, but I loved it so.
Yeah.
And then I played the clarinet in the concert band. And then I played bass clarinet because they needed one, and because I wasn't good at any of it because I didn't practice enough. But I did love the uniform. I loved the marching. I loved having the illusion of friends. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was a spot to hang.
It was real. It was people to know.
Yeah. Well, and learning an instrument's fun. I mean, it is cool. And the trumpet's awesome. Right. I love ska music.
Oh,
So that's like 1/3 of the important part of ska is having a trumpet.
The trumpet?
Yeah, well, somebody explained to me Sublime, kind of like everybody thinks of Sublime as the biggest ska band, but they have no horns. They have no members of their band that are horns, so they can't be ska, technically.
Wow.
Dude,
This is
I heard that those guys were a real piece of work.
Sublime guys?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't because I did an episode of The Dork Forest about ska. Brandy Posey, you guys, great stand-up comic. Brandy Posey loved ska,
Yeah.
and many things were said. One of which I said was, whenever it's a musical episode, there's always trouble. But but I said.
I know
I said,
musicians
isn't that a lot of drugs? And she goes, first of all, no. Second of all, it isn't just, it's all music, and it's everyone. It's not just music has drugs in it.
Yeah.
It's everyone does drugs, Jackie. And ska is known not for that, but it's known for its anti-racism stance and for being really cool. And I was like, or she's like, not cool, but like dorky cool. And I was like, okay.
Like fedora cool.
And then I asked her about Sublime, and she was like, oh, those people.
oh
And I guess that they were super. They were big time into drugs.
Yeah.
And then they were
Well,
also
Bradley, passed away.
right.
The lead singer.
Right. I don't think that guy
From
passed
an
away. I
overdose.
think that was like a 27-year-old murder suicide pact. It was. He died pretty hard.
I don't know any of this.
You don't know the band Sublime?
I know the band Sublime. I don't know Bradley or how he died, and I'm gonna spend a lot of time on Reddit later.
You could subreddit this. This probably already exists. But I heard that he was kind of a piece of work. So it was a lot of gun talk, a lot of
Oh, for sure.
alpha,
They sing about that
red
stuff, too.
pill, just a bunch of douchey red pill dudes.
There's just a lot like 311. Is that one of them too?
311.
311, whatever. I think they're kind of like that
311,
too.
You'll get some information.
Yeah.
So California, that's because there's 411, which is info.
Yeah.
311, which is you need someone to pick up your garbage, or there's graffiti, or you're narking on somebody is what's happening there. And then 911, of course.
Yeah.
There's trouble.
I always forget 911, but I
only
feel like there's a
called it
lot of like
once.
90s bands that I don't know if you ever listened to Stained, probably not, but
I've heard of them. I
But
don't
like
know,
lead, like all these 90, like they're all like doing rallies now. It seems like it's kind of crazy. Like Aaron Lewis from Stained, like all of his music is like "Make America Great Again" music.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And like
It's a weird civil war right now we're going through.
I think didn't the
nobody
band
on
kick
my
him out?
side.
Maybe, I don't know.
Nobody on my side's shooting anybody.
No, yeah, exactly.
Everyone
Yeah,
on my side's just like, hey, could we all just calm down for
Yeah.
No? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I have no idea when we're going to start shooting people, but so far it's just them. Just
Yeah.
bad guys.
Yeah.
They're like, we're just going to go shoot some people of color.
yeah,
And you're like, boo.
yeah.
Please
then-
stop. Children.
And you
Churches.
think all you have is 911 to call, but
Right.
Then you
Who
call
you gonna call? A bunch
311.
of cops?
Yeah.
Hairdressers have more training. 16 weeks versus 9.
we have to introduce.
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea who I am. It's me, Amanda Cohen.
I wrote out a little bit. Just, you know her from television. She's been on late night TV. She's got 2 podcasts. She's got over 6 albums.
I gotta, yeah.
She has 2 puppies.
Yeah, there's 2 dogs. Yeah, we got dogs now. And a cat. Cat is not talked about quite as much because the cat likes to keep her privacy.
And in Denver, people just love dogs. Cats don't get the same highlight for some reason.
I think everywhere people love dogs, but maybe not.
I don't
My name's
know.
Jackie.
And we got Jackie Cation.
Yeah.
We got it.
We decided to show you guys. 20 minutes in. We're like, hey, who are you talking to? It could have been anyone. So
We also have Kelsey Rosen along with us.
Hi.
One of the Recreational Outrage favorites. We've had her on for some of her wildest episodes.
wow.
Yeah.
What's about to happen?
Well, what are your opinions on Shrek?
Oh, Shrek.
Yeah, that led to a big brouhaha.
Are you a big Are you pro Shrek? Oh, I hate Shrek.
Oh wow.
What? I also hate Shrek so much, and it has
Can
led.
you pull it, man? It's the worst.
It is the
hilarious.
most bathroom, lowest denomination humor.
Right. Keep writing, people who wrote Shrek. Because it's not good. I prefer the first Frozen to Shrek. And Frozen, there's trouble. There's trouble with Frozen. Some bad parenting going on with Frozen. And, why
There's
would
not
you...
a lot of good parents in the Disney films.
Oh, there's true. They're mostly dead. It's mostly parent thyself.
Yeah. That's part of the hero's journey, dude.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh, wow. My heart is beating out of my chest. I'm so happy.
I know a bridge was just
I've
made.
never met someone else
didn't
who
like
shares
Shrek.
my opinion.
Well, here's the thing about you're especially in that wheelhouse. I think where you should have liked Shrek, right?
Yeah.
I think I missed the window. Like I was too sentient. I was too old to look at Shrek and go, No, I love it. It's all the things and the donkey. But there are things that I like Overboard. But if you look at Overboard, he kidnaps her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you look at You've Got Mail, that guy's a stalker.
Oh, yeah.
It is
Catfish.
okay. Like there's all kinds of trouble there. But I'm like, no, it's cute. And you're like,
Yeah.
You Got Catfished could be the new version.
Yeah, you got catfished.
yeah, there might. Well,
Sleepless in Seattle is also very
Also very
stalkery.
super stalkery. But I was thinking about but a more positive version is people who grew up with the prequels to Star Wars. Like those are the only people I allow to like. Anyone my age who's a huge Phantom Menace fan, you're like, oh, there's trouble there.
Yeah.
What
How did
happened?
you? Yeah, I don't know how you could, but I get it if you were a 7, if you were 9 or 11, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and we
Much
had
more- yeah.
those toys from that era too. So that's why I feel like people attach to that certain era of the Star Wars films.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of nonsense that
Yeah.
you'd like because you were a child.
Yeah.
And so you have nostalgia for it, and you're like, there's no reason.
The double-sided saber.
Oh, well, the thing is Darth Maul. Nobody can say that Darth Maul wasn't the coolest thing.
Right.
Phantom Menace. There's absolutely. And one of my brothers swears by the fact that if there's one decent scene in a movie, that's a good movie. Oh. You got a real low bar, my brother. But he in some ways, it's kind of super hopeful.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot of people worked on that. He doesn't ever say that, but he's just like, look at this scene. This is great. Like he showed me some old movie, and I tried to show it to Andy, my husband, and he was like, these are the meanest people in the world. And I said, yes, but Rosalind Russell is in a conga dance with a Portuguese merchant marine. That's just a delight. You can't not love that. And he's like, it's not making up for the fact that all of these people are super mean. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Well, what's the movie with Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant?
Philadelphia Story?
Yes, Philadelphia Story, which I loved when I was a kid and watched when I was an adult and was horrified at the first scene where Cary
punches
Grant just punches her.
Yeah.
over golf clubs.
I think I remember you
He
talking
doesn't
about
punch her. He
this.
pushes her down on
Yeah.
her face. That's a lot like a punch, but it's a face punch.
And I was
Smush.
just like, oh.
Yeah.
Or like the Quiet Man, or what's the
John Wayne.
John Wayne in Ireland.
All John Wayne movies do not hold up.
No, they don't.
But I will say, here's the thing about the Philadelphia Story. If you've ever seen the musical remake of the Philadelphia Story,
have not.
with Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra and Grace Kelly.
Oh,
Grace Kelly plays Katharine Hepburn. It is even worse. It's more, you know what makes it worse, though, is how innocuous it is.
Yeah.
Like, they take away Bing Crosby, who did hit his kids, doesn't hit anybody in that movie. And Grace Kelly is no
like-
Katharine Hepburn. And Jimmy Stewart and Sinatra, not a chance. Jimmy Stewart got an Oscar for that Philadelphia Story. But the best Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn movie is a movie very few people have seen, 1938 or 39, which was an amazing year for movies.
Yeah.
So there were too many great movies.
Yeah.
It's just called Holiday. Not Holiday Inn, not Holiday whatever.
The original Just Holiday.
Just the word holiday.
Yeah.
And it's Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and it's George Cukor directed. And George Cukor, he might have directed the Philadelphia Story, actually. But it's kind of subversive. You know, there's another Jimmy Stewart movie called You Can't Take It With You, which is based on a play.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorite Jimmy Stewart movies. You Can't Take It With You.
Okay.
Holiday is my favorite movie, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, and but he's like a bootstraps kind of guy who meets like this fancy baking family, and he falls in love with one of the daughters.
It's a hero story.
It's oh my God! There's a discussion of capitalism that will blow your minds, and the thing is I'm not
And that was so long
anti-capitalism,
ago.
but I'm also not anti-communism or socialism. It turns out, am the original moderate. I'm like, I think the good things. I mean, I studied too many political science, like too much theory of political science, where I'm like, well, no, a lot of good ideas came from. I mean, even Thomas. Oh my God, what a nerd! Even Thomas Hobbes, you guys. I was about to say, who is famous for being a guy who like the big discussion with Thomas Hobbes. Wait, Thomas. It was Locke, Hobbes,
theorist, or
the theorist.
Okay.
So the political economy.
analyst, or
Oh my God, I have a weird oxygen issue. So
That's true.
but it's Thomas Hobbes, it's John Locke, and it's like Voltaire and Rousseau and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
So we studied all this social contract business in college, and so there was too much philosophy, and they all had something to add to the conversation. And one of the big questions is what is the nature of man or humanity in nature? Like, what is the go-to?
The goal?
Like the go-to, like when you
What is the natural thing to do?
like the natural order. Like,
Okay.
Think Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a socio-political examination of how communities are formed, and how leadership is created.
Yeah, like Animal Farm kind of stuff.
Yeah, like that. And Thomas Hobbes is famous for saying that life is something like savage, brutish, and short. I'm getting it wrong. Whatever. But so he believes that it's just sort of the reason that communities are built from like caveman days is because of, everyone sort of hovers around the one that could protect you from the saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
And so that guy becomes the leader because he is super strong.
The
and he's
beast
like,
you know.
touch my muscle. What?
The beast you know.
The beast you know. To some extent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then,
this thing's going to protect me before it attacks me. I don't know what that thing out there is going to do.
And so Locke's idea was what the founding fathers of the United States more attributed to, which was that community was created more to spread all the jobs, and that was more of a democratic.
Okay.
And
out of necessity for.
And feel free to not email me at Jackie. To tell me I'm simplifying it too much because you're not wrong.
I like boiled down political theory. It's like the Spark Notes.
Yeah, it's the old Cliff Notes version of whatever. Yeah, but
Those things about figuring out the patterns that humanity always falls into and why we do them, it is pretty wild.
They're fun, but no grain of salt. Because
Yeah.
everything is pretty arbitrary.
Yeah.
Because they go like that book Generations. Remember that book where it talked about how generations repeat themselves?
Yes.
And like not Gen X, but the one under millennials.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be like this super creative, and Gen Z was supposed to be like this super
rigid.
And you're like, you're just hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Gen X was like sort of the ignored generation, and you're like, I don't care. I'm just trying to make it. And but it's so there's 11 billion. Is it 11? No, it's 8. It's 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
And which is too many.
Yeah.
And the
counting
planet, the planet is like, I can't believe there's 8 billion of this one kind of animal.
Yeah.
We gotta kill some of these people. And so there's viruses, and there's tsunamis,
Yeah.
and there's earthquakes, and
Well, it's like, the most easy example that comes to my brain is like natural disasters, like kill off the older trees. And it was literally the best part of Florida when the limbs start to die. It would always hit hurricane season and everything just got knocked down for you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to cut the palm trees ever because
Okay.
you just wait for the
wait for
wind.
the hurricane to come.
Yeah.
And blow it all. Yeah. Did
It's
you guys have you ever read that N.K. Jemisin series, the Broken Earth trilogy?
No.
She won the Hugo 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And one of my favorite things about her series, she finishes the series and then she publishes. So nobody has to. Robert
so it's all
Jordan
done.
themselves. There's no
Oh, man.
Philip Rothfuss bullshit.
George
Yeah.
R. R. Martin. Yeah.
You're just like, just finish it and then publish it.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
a job.
Oh, man.
And because none of us want to wait till.
I've even heard things about you don't know the end of the story, or you don't know the beginning of the story as well until you know the end. Like having different pieces towards
helps.
the end allows you to add details
Well,
in the
and
beginning.
it was a beautiful arc, and it was. But do you guys know Kamau Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so N.K. Jemisin is his cousin.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Weirdest like
That's an
crossover in the
artsy
whole
family.
wide world. Yeah, that is a very smart pile of humans, right?
Yeah,
there.
for real.
So, but N.K. Jemisin won. She won the Hugo 3 years in a row for this Broken Earth trilogy.
Called
and
Broken Earth.
Yeah, the Broken
Okay.
Earth. Yeah, and it's
wow,
science
and just
fiction.
swept it 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but it's not. It's old school science fiction. It kind of reminds me more like Gibson.
Yeah.
In the '60s, because it's both science fiction and kind of mystical.
Yeah.
But not. It's like Heinlein.
Yeah.
Where it's less sex.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because who loves polygamy? Heinlein loved polygamy.
Yeah.
Let's get some action. And so.
Speaking of Pueblo,
Yeah, but
I love Dune. Dune was the first book I ever read that, like, speaking of sci-fi
did you
novels.
read them all?
No. It was the first book that I couldn't put down. That I literally had to read.
I
the
love
next.
Dune.
Yeah.
I liked Dune too. I did not like the third Dune.
Well, they ended up being written by.
There are 14 Dunes, but the first, like Frank wrote most of them, right?
Okay.
And it became this incredible socio-political intrigue, sort of like Game of Thrones. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars. I like Star Trek for if it's going to get slightly political.
Yeah.
And I like Lois McMaster Bujold writes, and like Star Trek and Star Wars, those are space operas, right? It's just like it's cowboys in space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Firefly, right?
Yeah.
And Lois McMaster Bujold, who also won the Hugo like 3 years in a row for, I think it was the Miles Vorkosigan series, but she same with Dragon Riders of Pern, which is science fiction, but has a bit of a mystical thing because you're telepathic with dragons.
Yeah.
But the dragons are genetically modified they're not really dragons. They're a reptile that happened on this planet that they genetically modified to be big enough
Yeah.
and
like
telepathic
large cabbages.
so that people could ride them
Okay.
and fight this weather anomaly.
Yeah.
So the Dragon Riders of Pern and the Lois McMaster Bujold, the Bujold Miles Vorkosigan is more space opera than
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're both.
Have you read? I had to look it up. Have you read Black Leopard, Red Wolf?
No, but I heard about that.
It is one of my. It's probably my favorite book that I've read in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's very much like mystical magical, not sci-fi.
It's more sword and
It's
sorcery
more
stuff, or?
like magical realism. So it
Okay.
happens on the continent of Africa, and it's a lot of shape shifting
Okay.
and
Well, like
magical
magical
American
realism.
Gods, kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would
Alright.
say definitely more in that vein, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Series or just one off?
It is a series. There are currently 2 out. A third is expected.
There's
said-
a weird Mormon dude. Go ahead. Sorry.
You said Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Very good.
There's a
Dragon Rider sounded so far up your alley.
Yeah, that got me going too. It's like, oh,
When
Yeah,
you
Dragon
kept
Rider's-
explaining that, he
yeah,
was like,
Dra-
oh.
yeah,
Dragon Rider's Pern is a good times.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a. She wrote him in the late '60s, early '70s.
Okay.
So it's an easy read, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking 220.
Oh, nice.
Back when the books were like, they were just cheering it about because nobody thought that Tolkien was an artist. Right?
Yeah,
It was like, it's a pulp.
yeah.
I'll be honest. Book talk. This is so far up Dylan's alley. He couldn't
little
have
bit.
imagined
Yeah.
it would get there.
I am excited. I have a bunch of movies and books to read now.
Yeah, right. All kinds of good stuff.
Okay, but I would like to do. Okay, so
You got a segment?
I
You got
do.
a-
We
you got
have
a
some
segment?
segments and
Let's
games.
hear it.
Yeah.
I did want to try to do some of our regular stuff.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so first we're going to do the hot seat questions, and that's usually how we get things rolling.
All right, we've been rolling.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't
All right,
have
let's
to.
roll. Let's roll some more. Let's do it.
All right, so the first question is going to be for Jackie. Is there a musical band that you are now embarrassed to listen to that you used to love?
There's no not. I buy. The last album I bought was the Hugh Jackman Music Band soundtrack.
Yeah.
So but there's.
Are you a big soundtrack person? Like, do
No,
you
I
like?
bought the Wakanda Forever soundtrack. I bought the Frozen 2 soundtrack.
That's more
I'm not
soundtracks than I
saying
think I
there's
have.
some soundtracks being purchased. I will say, but the Wakanda Forever, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool though
Yeah.
because that has a lot of cool kid songs on it. And yeah, there's albums that I listen to that are probably not. Like there's a Meghan Trainor
Yeah.
album that I like that I have some friends who are very polite to me, some black women friends who are like, fine. We all know where Meghan Trainor decided to start her journey. And, but they're kind of fun and they're,
Yeah.
but like
Well, music's a weird one too.
yeah, weird music. I have the same. I have an airplane mix that I listen to nonstop, and it's just when I'm on the plane, like in the airport, just trying to calm the fuck down as I stand in line and people get in my way.
That's smart. Have a playlist for that.
Just anything, just some sort of sing along nonsense. There's like a Paul McCartney song from the early '80s called "Pipes of Peace," and it's about World War I. You guys, it's pretty lame, but I like it. How about you?
I've never even thought about having a playlist for an activity, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like a specifically like before this thing or during this thing. Like I should have a work one.
Yeah.
Wow.
You could have a work one. People have a workout one. People who work out, they do it.
Pump
Yeah.
up the jams.
I get stuck on indie alternative all the time, so
Yeah.
I'm just working out to Death Cab for Cutie.
You're pumping iron to death cab. That's great, dude.
It's just what I
Dashboard confessional.
I've never even thought about catering the experience. That's so good.
You need to run. You put on a red jumpsuit apparatus.
They did a music video at the summer camp I worked at.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
You were a summer camp guy?
Yeah, for like 7 years. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Could you teach them how to ride horses or swim or
I was the
arts and
skate park
crafts?
director.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You teach 'em how to skate?
Florida summer camps. That's badass.
It was awesome.
I always wanted to learn how to skate. River Butcher. Do you know River Butcher?
Yeah.
He used to But like, I'll teach you how to skate. And
Yeah.
my husband was like, that window's closed.
Evan,
You're gonna break a hip.
Evan and our friend Austin tried to teach me how to skate, and I immediately planted one foot on the ground, and the skateboard kept going, and I started to do a split, and I was like, nope, I'm in my 30s, I'm not doing this.
It was one of those slow falls too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love skateboarding. I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
pretty great.
He was depressed a couple weeks ago because he hadn't been able to skateboard in like
It's been
a
driving.
month.
Oh, wow.
Just because it's been wet.
Snow's on the ground.
Yeah, too wet. And there's no indoor skate park you go to?
There's
or-
one, but I
It's
hate.
not as cool.
Well, then my shoes get wet, and I hate water. It's actually like, it's literally the only fear I have is water.
We're gonna need it though. Potable water. Big fan.
I feel like we've got enough. It's everywhere.
You didn't see Fury Road?
The desert opera. Mad Max. I don't know. It sucks. Water's never been good. It ruins everything.
Okay, that's a.
Ruins everything.
It's.
It's delicious.
I went tubing with my girlfriend for her because it was her birthday, and like she asked me like,
Right. You're not tubing through water. You're tubing through urine. So.
it was still cold.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know the urine would have helped, but when I got in, it was what all my girlfriend wanted to do was to go tubing. And when I got in, I shook so badly that she asked me to just sit on the side, and I just watched her tube for like 3 hours. Yeah, I can't do
You
it.
didn't go down the river? Where was you? Where were you tubing?
It was in Golden, so it was like here in Colorado.
But outside, right?
Yeah.
Like down a river.
Yeah.
He just sat on the side and
But
watched.
how did she come back?
Yep. And
Around?
she just
Okay.
walked back up and then go back down.
Okay. So you just sort of sat around and waited an hour and a half until she came back.
Pretty much.
Did she get to go with anyone? She
Yeah.
goes solo.
Eventually, I got a friend out there.
Okay.
Because I was like, hey, she's just tubing alone. And it's her birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
Sounded real sad.
I did what I could.
Yes.
I really tried.
You gave it a shot.
Yeah.
You
I
have a
faced my
true
fear.
phobia of water.
It is weird. But hey, I'm getting through it every day.
Every day there's more water.
I drink this stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I follow a couple of great skateboarders on Instagram.
Yeah.
That kid that won the silver or gold, the kid from Brazil.
Oh,
The
in the
young woman?
Olympics?
Were,
Yeah,
we
the
just, were we
Olympics.
watching that at your house?
Yeah.
I've been watching her since she was like 8.
Oh, wow.
7 or 8.
She did the
That's
tutu.
cool.
She's like 14
She's
now.
in the like
Oh, wow.
ballerina outfit doing the kickflip down the staircase. Do you remember that viral?
She grinds it out. I don't remember that one, but she does street, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think she did drop in at one point. Like I think she did some half pipe stuff,
Yeah.
but I never liked the street stuff. Like because
I love how many skate terms you've said in the last 30 seconds. I'm so impressed.
Very
well, and then I like I once was at like a Vans store and they had like a mini half pipe, and I saw a kid. It was clearly he had never dropped in, and so he was probably 10, and you could just see this just like
Tear
one
forming.
sweat just coming down the side of his, and his dad was like, "You're wearing pads.
Yeah.
He's just
It's
standing
not
on
gonna
the
hurt."
edge, right?
He's standing on the edge. He's like, "You just got to throw your heart over, brother. Just give it a shot." And the kid did it, and he kind of wiped out a little bit, but he was like, "I didn't die."
Exactly.
Yeah.
You learn how to fall.
I do
That's one
love
of the most.
watching small children drop in. I think it makes me cry. I'm like,
like-
that's so
It's really
beautiful.
neat. It's
It's
really-
really
yeah,
cool.
it's
Like when veterans come see their dogs for the
Yeah.
first time.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
I
helpful.
Love, dude, videos of deaf kids hearing for the first time. That's one that I can
yeah.
all day.
I'll cry.
It really
Yeah.
gets me.
There's all kinds of videos out there that'll make you cry. It's like, oh my God, it's his mom. It's like some soldier comes back and his mom doesn't know that he's back, and then she sees him and she's like, boo hoo, and you're like, yes, Yes.
Let me watch 5 more.
I was like, what else you got?
Yeah, well, you could go into terrible rabbit holes on the internet, but there is also these really good, like, there's like good news networks, and it's
Yeah.
like all just
Do
positive
you hear
stories.
that on China they have a limit on how
Yeah.
long you can be on TikTok?
And it's not like none of the kids. The kids can't watch like
Anything
dance
but
videos. It's all educational and like patriotic stuff and teaching you how to be a
40
better person. Yeah,
40 minutes of
Yeah.
TikTok?
yeah,
That is
Wow.
yeah.
That's like how much you're supposed
My
to
son
play
would freak
outside.
out. He would not. He
it.
wouldn't be able to operate.
Right. It would destroy minds.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah. But I will say in Hong Kong, I've tripped and fallen like 4 times in the last couple of months. And
not
I
the-
was reminded
not
that when
the
I
cool
was in Hong
kind of
Kong,
tripping.
when you are on the escalator going down into the subway, there was a repeating announcement, first in Chinese and then in English. And all it says is, do not only look at your mobile device.
Wow. Oh, that's in Hong
And
Kong.
that is every time I've wiped out, I was looking at my mobile device.
Of course, yeah.
And it took me like 3 or 4 times for me to go, do not only look at your,
Your
mobile
mobile
device,
device.
and you probably won't wipe out quite as much.
It's like the intercom at like theme parks where it like has to keep cycling through.
It's it's an intercom that recycles.
Wow. And have you caught yourself less looking at your phone?
Yeah, ever since I realized that I was only looking at my mobile device.
Yeah.
Do not only look at your mobile device. Stop and look at your mobile device.
Sounds like it really
Do not
imprinted in your brain.
Mobile look at your like don't walk mobily.
Yeah.
You know.
It did the job. All right, I do have a question for Kelsey.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Kelsey, I haven't asked you one yet. You ready?
Yeah.
This is your first hot seat question.
Yeah.
Okay. I meant ever because I don't
Yeah.
think we've had you on for this. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
don't know
sorry.
this segment.
Kelsey, have you won anything on the radio?
No.
Ever?
No.
Dang.
I
Okay.
wish. I'm sorry. That's not exciting.
You were
I'll
honest.
lie. I want
Have you
to.
won any kind of contest?
No, never. It's actually a point of contention. Like even in college, I would never get. You know, in college they give you out like they give out free T-shirts like candy.
Yeah.
And I never got any. Like I just was never in the right place at the right time.
For the T-shirt.
I
candy?
never got anything free. And no free T-shirts.
This is sad.
I know.
And yet it isn't, because who cares?
Exactly.
It could be something you could obsess about, or you could be like, no, I don't. Because when you think about it, remember that old Mitch Hedberg joke about flyers?
Yep.
It's just like, could you throw this out for me?
Yeah.
Could you throw this out for me?
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah, you're winning something you're going to throw away definitely later.
Yeah.
I'll give you something. Nothing that belongs to the Comedy Works, but I'll before
Oh, thank you.
there will be a trinket in your
Thank
future.
you. Thank you.
But it will also be a trinket that you don't know that you're gonna. A matter of fact, I'm gonna go get it, and you'll be like, I can't do anything with this. Do you want
I'm
me to throw this
excited.
out for me?
I'm so excited.
I
Actually,
obsess.
when I was getting tips at Infinite Monkey Theorem, someone put like a tiny little plastic baby in the tip jar, and I was like, or you could just give me a tip.
You want a baby?
No, it's because
Yeah, you could pay me.
Money. There you go.
Oh,
There you
yay! I'm so
You would have to own a
excited.
DVD player. You own a DVD player?
No, but
I knew it. The thing is,
my computer has a
DVD slot?
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Give it back. I'm very excited. Staycation.
You finally
Yeah,
won something.
For some reason.
Thank you. I'm legitimately very excited. I got something. Oh, wow. This is a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. While we didn't really introduce. At least I wanted to mention that you have 2 podcasts,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I do.
The Jackie and Laurie show.
Right. 7 years.
I read
wow.
online one of them said Jackie or Laurie and Jackie, and then I wrote it out as Laurie and Jackie, and then I was like, wait. Should I say her first? And I saw like different ways on different.
I was like, I don't know why Lori picked it. Lori picked it, Jackie and Lori show, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Because it's really her, it was her idea to have a podcast. She was like, do you want to do a podcast? And I said, I have a podcast. I mean, I'm in the 17th year of the Dork Forest. So I was like, this one's yours. And, so it's all right.
Yeah.
That one you pretty much just get to hang out. you tune in. Yeah.
Yeah. We just talk about stand up. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dork Forest, I interview people. So.
And Dork Forest, it's about like specific like collections and things that people
just
go.
whatever people like. Like last
Their
week was very
obsessions?
funny. It was about Korean dramedies. Some guy loves hour-long dramas and dramedies of Korean. And there's something called Reborn Rich, which is on. It's about a guy he works for a big corporation. He's like the assistant for the CEO of this. So that guy's a gajillionaire.
Yeah.
And our protagonist is murdered. And he wakes up in the first episode. He's murdered, and then he wakes up as that guy's son in 1977 inside the body of a 6 or 8 year old.
Oh, wow.
And so the whole 16 episodes is him growing up in this reborn rich. Now he's super rich.
Yeah,
but
underneath the.
And he's also got this plan. He's going to bring this family down. He's going to find out
Yeah.
who murdered him. He's going to do all these things, and it's crazy. There's one where some famous chef, a broy chef, is killed or dies somehow, and it's a lot of reincarnation and ghosts and stuff, but he is reborn as a woman who's about to marry the emperor in Middle Ages Korea.
Oh, wow.
But he's a broy chef dude.
Yeah.
And the emperor doesn't want to be the emperor. He's the emperor, the heir to the empire.
Yeah.
And he's also a very young man, and he plays a very young woman. And he's like, I don't want to be emperor. This is a drag. And the
Just
broy
wants to be a
chef
chef.
dude is like, no, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. But he's a broy dude. This is
wild.
It's like the weirdest premises. There's another one where some woman is she owns she's the proprietor of a hotel, but it's only for ghosts. Yeah. And so you're like, what's happening? And then there's another
Hotel
one
for
where the
spirits.
guy is a demon, and he's been a demon on the earth for like 6,000 years, and he keeps waiting for this one person to be born, because that's the only way he can be killed, is this one person and it will be his true love. And he finally finds this person, and she's a child.
Oh, damn.
And he's like, now I have to wait for this kid to grow up to kill me. And so that's that show. And you're like, it's such a weird dorkdom, weird thing to be into.
Yeah.
That's
And I was like,
crazy.
where are these shows airing? And he's like, it's called Viki, is the name of the streaming
It's like
service.
some niche streaming platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what the point of the Dork Force is so it could be about anything.
Yeah.
Like this week it's about Calvin and Hobbes. This kid
yeah.
loves Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And in 2 weeks it's a guy who loves the Beatles.
Nice.
And I think, or it might be
Is that
next week.
When you're, that's why you've been listening to Peace Pipes, getting ready.
No, he was. And then but it could be video games. It could be skateboarding. I did surfing with Kurt Braunweiler.
Nice.
I did guitars
Who
with
was-
Fred Armisen.
Who was the dorkiest?
Yeah.
Was there one person that you were like, holy shit, you're on
there's-
another level?
No, there's so many people
Yeah.
on another level. Like Greg Proops did the Negro baseball leagues.
Yeah.
That was Banana Land. There was.
You can still buy the merch for that stuff. There's like companies that still make the hats and
If you go to the African American Museum
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
D.C., they have jerseys.
Yeah.
They're like doing a new. They're like doing a Negro Leagues baseball game now, like through the MLB video games.
Oh.
Yeah.
No
Just
shit.
to honor it, I guess. Yeah, because it's never really been given like its proper credit.
Yeah,
So
'cause those guys were amazing baseball
Yeah.
players, I guess. And if
Yeah.
you like baseball,
yeah,
get in.
it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
What is your, if you had to say, what is your obsession?
Books.
Books.
I just read, and it's whether it's crap novels or good novels or
Yeah.
nonfiction or Audible or Kindle. I'm usually got like 3 books going: one on Audible, one on real life, and then one in Kindle.
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's nice. Stops the voices. It's a great way to avoid thinking about. It's the only way. I mean, I've found that. I'll talk to people. I was just talking to Jeff Tice, comic from here, and he was. I was telling him I'm reading some mystery series, and he's like, I asked him what he was reading. He was like, I'm reading kind of mom books. And I said, what are mom books? And he goes, books my mom likes, because she's the one who reads the most. And I will say this, is that
Just the
women
books
of
that
a
she already
certain
had.
age read more than anyone I've ever met in my life, and it's because they cannot control anything else in their lives.
Yeah.
It is it is just a way that they had to escape from just random sexism. They're just like, oh, that guy's gonna be a douche. I guess I'm gonna crawl into this book.
I definitely got my love for reading from my grandma, for sure. That's who
Really?
put books in my hand, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now that I think,
My mom was a librarian. There we go. Yeah, my mom was a
she
librarian.
studied books.
Yeah, and she was like a corporate librarian, so pre-internet. She worked at a corporation, and like if someone needed a bunch of information, my mom would get all of the information for them. But she would always read to us as kids, and she's always been like a huge avid reader.
Yeah.
So
Of
that's
a
where I got that.
variety of items.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And-
I read romance novels, I read mystery novels, I read occasionally, not as often as I would like, nonfiction. I wish I read more nonfiction, but it really has to grab me,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And because I know people who read almost entirely self-help books and memoirs.
It's too much.
And I don't read, those aren't for me, right?
Yeah.
But like Maria Bamford she reads so many memoirs and so
Yeah.
many self-help books. And I'm like, well, read something. I don't care what you read. Read something.
I did want to say it's pretty wild that I love that you have Maria Bamford doing all of the photos for your merch.
Yeah, she said, hey,
so
put that
rad.
on. You're famous. And then I'm going to take a picture. So she's got a Kickstarter right now. She's doing. She doesn't want to go through the regular, and nobody's offering her a sitcom or anything. So she was like, and she did a sitcom on Netflix.
Yeah.
But nobody's offered her another show, and she was like, well, I kind of want to do another show, and I kind of want to do it all.
Yeah.
And so she paid to do a pilot, and then she's got a Kickstarter to make 3 more episodes. And I said, did you ask all your famous friends to repost your Kickstarter? And she goes, oh, that would be weird. And I said, no, like Patton Oswalt would do it if you asked him. And she goes, yeah, I don't want to ask him. And she goes, to some extent, Patton kind of really helped me with my career early on and really put me out there. And I said, and she said, I think he's done enough for me. And I said, you did that for me. I'm planning on asking you for shit forever. And she was like, well, fair enough. And she did ask him, and he did do it.
Yeah.
You slipped into the voice just slightly there. That was,
Yeah, I was like, do it, man. I'm going to totally milk this relationship forever. until you say no. Which she could, and it's always an option, you know? You can always say no.
So I was saying earlier how the universe wanted this in a weird way.
yeah.
Right? I'm obsessed with when things connect and all those kinds of things. Me and Dylan a few months ago had a bit, and it was like where we suggest each other specials.
Okay.
His first special suggested was this would make an excellent Horcrux.
Yeah.
And I had heard you on pods and all that kind of stuff, but I hadn't seen that special. And
The Horcrux special. Yeah.
yeah, it is wild to get to have you on.
Okay.
After that was his, I mean, out of all the specials in the entire world, he was like, this is the one you have to listen to.
Okay. Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
of course.
I had suggested Comedians of
Purple. I
yeah,
mean.
Comedians of Comedy,
Comedians,
which
that
Maria,
series. Yeah,
and
it was with
it was
Brian
to
and
see
Zach.
those weird circular things,
Yeah,
how it's
yeah.
all connected. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. The Comedians of Comedy was so funny because it was when specials were just starting to happen and solo shows were happening and stuff like that. And now it's back. Like everyone's doing a 1-person show again.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing kind of weird specials and just releasing them on YouTube because there's because we
You're
were
just
all
gonna
told
hit
that
so
they
many-
wanted content and they don't really. They just want to give Roseanne something or Chappelle a 13th version and see what Louis C.K.'s up to.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing with movies. I mean, unless you have the name to carry in already with this well-established okay from the system, then there's no way to break into that because they feel safer going with.
Oh yeah. I mean, the money wise, it makes sense. But did you see Everything Everywhere all at once?
I have it on DVD and I haven't seen it yet. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. Because the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon lady, and she's famous, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was a low budget. It was only $10 million, I guess. And
Side shot, wasn't it? Right?
the kid from Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
who never acted again
It
and
was
went
his
into
only-
stunt coordinator.
It wasn't. Yeah.
But
I
it was
think
perfect because Michelle Yeoh, I think her name is,
Yes.
and but she, like, he at least had the chops so that he could do all the stunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just saw it a couple of days ago, and people have been telling me to see it for.
I've heard it was
months.
so
Did you
good,
enjoy
dude.
it?
I thoroughly
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I loved it.
It was both unapologetically silly and adorable.
I know.
Very, very smart and sweet.
I
you know?
remember crying my eyes out at the rock scene.
Oh,
when
the-
they're
oh,
rocks
yeah,
with
yeah.
googly eyes. Yeah.
I'm not good with crying films. I cried
This
so
is-
I
fast.
don't think-
it's not a crying film. It's
Yeah,
not-
I was in a
thing is
mood.
I think she's a hothouse flower. I mean, this is not anything. I didn't cry. I just think it was very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was and unapologetically absurd.
Yes.
So you're just like, okay. 'cause
So I heard it was
yeah.
something different. Like it was kind of like it felt
Yeah.
like a fresh idea.
Yeah.
Right, much like the Korean dramedies.
Yeah.
They all had weird premises that you're like, I will watch. What is this?
Yeah.
And so it had that kind of vibe to it too. And it was shot on such a shoestring budget. You can kind of tell if you watch it because there's like 3 sets. And like, you're like, okay. You got like an office building, you got a laundromat, and you got an apartment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then outdoors.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an authenticity to that though. When like they
great.
make do with those smaller amounts of objects or places and things, it makes them like stress harder on the actual story or the
content.
dialogue
Yeah.
or whatnot. All right, something I did want. I was hoping you could tell a story. I read this online and I asked Dylan to like not even look it up. I was like, dude, you got to hear this story. It's kind of wild because everybody has their own style, like story of how they started comedy, right? Their first time at a club or whatever it was.
Is it this crazy story that I've told 1,000 times?
Yeah, I know.
Which story?
The
The Kinnison story?
yeah,
Oh, Christ.
I know. I'm
right.
sorry.
Here's what happened. I was 19. I'd never seen stand-up comedy before. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, going to college.
And that was true. You had
And there's
never
a college. No, I'd never been anywhere. Are you kidding me? I had margarine. I grew up with Miracle Whip and margarine. And I'd never been in an airplane. I'd never seen the ocean. I go to college in Madison, Wisconsin. And there's a stand-up show, and we go to it. And it was called The Comedy Cellar, and it was owned by Sam Kinnison's brother, Bill Kinnison. And we sit down. I'm right by the stage. The stage is about the size of this tiny table. And I'm sitting there, and Sam Kinnison is on stage. And I don't know how to drink, but the drinking age is 18. And
hadn't had margarine.
so all I knew is that my parents told me that when somebody brings you a drink, you tip them. So every time the waitress would come over and bring me, and I was doing shots and beers. Shots and beers, 19 shots and beers every time. So guess who checked in on me a lot? I'd give her $1 every time she dropped off a beverage.
Oh, nice.
Me. So I'm like, so by the time the headliner gets up, I am shit-faced beyond belief. And he's having a set. He's doing an okay job. It's not going very well. It's right before he blew up.
Yeah.
It's right before he did Letterman, 1984, I think. And I heckle him. He says something, and it was a dumb heckle. I remember it to this day.
Yeah.
Because there's no defense. And there's no defense, by the way, of a woman heckler. Even if you were a woman comic, for some reason the audience is more on their side. And this has been proven to me innumerable times. That
It's like science.
it's an indictment against whenever there's a horrible heckler in my audience, it's an indictment against how I started doing stand-up. Because
see it
this
as
woman
like
is he says that he's from Peoria, his timing's slightly off, and I say to him, that's too bad. And the audience laughs. And I'm sorry. So then he tries to wipe the floor up with me, and he calls me all kinds of names, and he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Gets some laughs. I shut up for a second, but then I don't shut up because I'm super drunk.
Yeah, and you think that now you're in.
19.
Right, and I'm 19, and I don't know if I think anything. I'm just shit faced, and so I'm just yelling things at him, and I think we're in a conversation, and it's the worst. And finally, the manager comes over, and he's like, "You have to shut up." And he's told me to shut up like twice. And he goes, "Open mic is on Sundays. Come back on Sundays." And so 3 weeks later, I come back and I do open mic.
Yeah.
And it was like falling into a vat of heroin, I assume. Yeah. Because I got a 1.8 that semester. I did stand up every night for 8 months until the club burned down.
Yeah.
And then
Was it a really good set?
no, I'm sure it wasn't. The blessed thing about 1984, nobody's filming shit.
Yeah.
So there's no record of me. And I once had a friend of my husband's, started doing stand up about 5-6 years ago, and he goes, "I did stand up for the first time. It's on YouTube. Will you watch it?" Oh God! Yeah. And I said, "I'm going to do us both a favor and not watch it." And I'm also going to tell you.
You want to take that down.
You're going to want to put that on private. Yeah. And then a year from now, if you're still doing stand-up, watch it and then delete it.
Yeah.
It
took me a while to start recording. I think it took me like a year and a half before I ever recorded one.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Well, shrewd. I mean, there's nothing wrong with recording, obviously. Yeah. Like, it's smart to record and re-listen if you could stand it. But, because it makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to show it to anyone.
Oh my God. My first time, if it was on YouTube. I recently went through like old like submission tapes that I had filmed.
Oh, yeah.
From like a year or 2 years ago
How long
on
you
YouTube.
been doing it?
4 years.
Okay.
So
early days.
Still new. Mm-hmm. And I moved everything but one to private. I was like, oh God, why are these still on here?
Right. We can see the horribleness of this. 10 years from now, we can laugh. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I wanted to end the episode just a bit because I think you did say you wanted to do. You got like an hour. I can't do too much. Can I keep going?
I want to lie down. But go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I write all these silly games.
Okay.
All right. And I wanted to play a game. So have you heard of Sporkle?
No.
It's a tool that I use to find out who's the most intelligent in the in the room. It's called Sporkle, but I was going to call it either Jorkle or Jackie's of all trades.
Oh, there you go.
Oh God.
So
wordplay.
So I'm gonna.
You guys know pot is legal, right? What's the game?
The plan is to. So I'm gonna name characteristics about a person, and then you guys are gonna see who can name the Jackie that I'm describing.
Oh, you're describing
gonna be
famous Jackies from
famous
history?
Jackies.
Oh, wow.
Jackie Chan, Jackie Robinson.
I only have one left now.
Jackie Kennedy.
And then I found out it was Jacqueline.
That's the quickest winner ever, dude. That's crazy.
Know who the smartest person in the room is.
That was pretty quick.
If you've ever Googled your own name, the other famous of that name are going to come up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's so good.
Well, I think that's been the podcast.
We did it.
That was my big game.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for being
thank you
on.
so much.
Thank you.
Seriously, this was so much fun. Hell yeah.
All right. Yay.
Do you want to plug anything real quick? I know you're going to be...
If you guys know this, I have a new album and DVD out or special out. Special's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's called Staycation.
Yeah.
Because we were all home, and my last name's Cation, and I'm always writing.
And it's on the 800-pound gorilla page on
their
YouTube. Yeah.
On the 800-pound gorilla YouTube. Oh, as is Horcrux now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And And then I
Two
have
of the funniest specials. I mean, I know like you've probably heard it 1,000 times.
no,
but
I can always hear it. And then This Will Make An Excellent Horcrux is also on there. And then I'm actually disappointed I never did I'm Not the Hero of This Story was not filmed. That would have been a great special.
Yeah.
Just because it was 6 weeks after after the election in 2016, and so I had never done political material.
Yeah.
But I was terrified. So the first 10 minutes is me doing weirdly very strong political material. And so that if you want to listen to that, Hero's kind of an awesome album for a different kind of thing. And then Bread. Horcrux is nice. I mean, I called it that because it had my soul in it.
Yeah.
And it has some darker kind of jokes in it, but Bread is kind of the lightest. It's never going to be Bread. Spoiler alert, it's Cotton. And then Circus People, you can just gloss over that.
Yeah.
That's my first album. You if you're a completist, you go for it.
And they're all on
They're
your
all on
website
iTunes,
for sure.
and, on the website for sure. But if you go to iTunes or Amazon, you can listen to the streaming on
Hell
that
yeah.
for sure. And I did just record a mess of a set at Comedy on State because they're not playing anything on Spotify and Pandora right now, and Sirius XM. So I literally recorded a set. Blonde Medicine cut it up into 19 tracks, and it's exclusively on Sirius XM.
Nice.
Whoa.
So yeah,
And you just did that.
I just did it like 3 months ago, and it's got a bunch of. I was like, there's a bunch of new material that isn't done, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
It should have been called "It's a Mess," but I think it's called "Life is Messy." I didn't know what to call it
got
because I
mess
was
in
just
there.
like, it's a mess. So, but it's fine. The audience liked the set, and we got paid, and and it's you can hear some stand up on Sirius XM of me doing stand up, and I will get some sound exchange money, so we all win. But come and see me live, JackieCation.com.
Hell yeah. Thank you again, Kelsey. Thank you for hanging out.
Do you want to play Uncorked or anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
Wednesdays.
Sure. Uncorked
Monkey.
Wednesdays, Infinite Monkey Theorem, Yikes is back.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
dude.
Thank you for coming.
Dylan?
If you're in Denver, Cloudy Eyed Comedy, March 17th. At the Coffee Joint, I have Nathan Lund headlining, so pretty excited about that.
It is a stacked lineup, too. That
Yeah,
whole
Shanae Ross, Gabby Gutierrez, Reed, Carl Pekin. So, all good people. Yeah.
Nice. And Slaughterhouse Studios. All right. Thank you again, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Bye.
Recreational outrage. 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 Recreational outrage.